What a day in my life looks like. My days mostly look like this, but it's not always like this. Beyond all the glamorous stuff, just my day-to-day, what does it look like? So if you ever had that question of me, maybe asking these videos, you're in luck because we're gonna get into it right now. Hey, Courtney Sanders here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to me, I'm a full-time certified 7-figure life and business coach, as well as wife and mom. I wear all the hats and do all the things, so much so that I get questions all the time from people who would like to know what a day in my life looks like. And so, it's kind of hard to answer because no 2 days are exactly the same. For instance, as I'm recording this right now, this has not only been a marathon recording day for me in terms of recording these videos for YouTube, but I'm also finishing up the final training videos for my coaching certification program. So I've mentioned this a few times here on the channel, but I'm super excited that I am officially launching my own coaching certification program. It is an accredited coaching certification program that will not only teach you how to coach and teach you in our methodology, but will show you how to come up with your own methodology so that you stand out from the crowd, and will even show you how to package that up and sell it to the masses. So if that's something that you're interested in, I'm sure there's links in the description box or wherever. But anyway, I say all that to say my days have been thrown off lately because I've been here at my makeshift recording studio, also known as my short-term rental. I have a rental property at Airbnb, and when no one's in it, I use it in order to knock out these videos. So my days mostly look like this, but it's not always like this. Sometimes it's, really fun and exotic. For instance, I had a whole week in Croatia on a yacht with some of my entrepreneurial friends and colleagues. And so that's kind of like a glamorous day in the life. As I'm recording this, I have a glamorous kind of event that I'll be attending in Los Angeles. So, maybe I'll do a day in the life vlog like that. So I'm just sensitive to this though, because I know maybe you follow me on Instagram as well. And so you see clips of my life. Oh, we're in Miami, we're in Croatia, we're in LA, we're doing all these things. My life doesn't always look like that. In fact, most of the time, my life looks pretty normal, working from home, tending to my kids, hanging out with my husband, hanging out with my family, et cetera, et cetera. So I wanted to do this video as kind of like a level set of what does my day look like as an online life coach, typical, beyond all the glamorous stuff, just my day-to-day, what does it look like? So if you ever had that question of me, maybe asking these videos, you're in luck because we're gonna get into it right now. All right, my day starts in the morning with me planning and doing my to-do list. And I have a few different goal setting systems that I've talked about. You can check one out here, this video all around my millionaire goal setting process. I follow that in real life. But I've also mentioned in another video, and I forget which one, but I shout this guy out all the time because he's amazing. I don't know him personally. I stumbled on him on YouTube when I was looking for help with Notion. Notion is a I don't know if you would call it a project management tool, but just kind of like an online tool, maybe similar to Evernote, that you can use to take notes, but you could trick it out and turn it into like a full system. And so I was looking for videos on the best ways to use Notion, and I found this man. His name is August Bradley. Watch his videos if you like using the software Notion. It's amazing. But I follow his process and his methodology in terms of having a goal setting dashboard. So I don't even know what he calls it. I would recommend going on his channel and looking it up, but I have created a goal setting dashboard, very much based on August Bradley's work inside of the tool Notion, which I adore. I love Notion for my personal work and stuff like this. And so I will plan my to-dos, I will review my goals, and I will review my dreams in that dashboard inside of Notion. So that's like the first thing that I do in the morning. And by the way, yeah, I'm still doing the early morning get up. So I talked about this in another podcast episode of mine, but I've been experimenting with this. I know it sounds crazy what I'm getting ready to say. I feel like it was a divine download. Okay. So God told me to get up this early. And if you're like, what are you talking about? Go check out that other podcast where I mentioned this. But I've been exploring with basically getting up at like 2:30, 2:45. Usually I get up that early because I want to start what I'm talking about now, this goal setting process, at around like 3:30. And so I actually do my prayer and Bible reading time beforehand. And oftentimes I will do it in bed. So I'm up at like 2:45. I have my phone open. I'm, reading scripture on my phone. I get out of bed. I go do my prayers. And then Once that's done, usually takes me about 30 to 45 minutes. Then I like leave the bedroom and I go not into my office, I go into the living room because, you know, I keep the lights off. There's a fireplace that we have in the living room that I will often light, even in summertime. I know that's crazy, but I just like the ambiance, right? So yes, the air conditioning is running and I'm turning on the fireplace in Houston in 100-degree weather, but I just like the vibe. It makes me feel cozy, especially at 3 o'clock in the morning where it's like super, super early. And so I will go there. I will put music on the TV. So I'll stream like my Spotify to the TV. I'll keep everything low because the house is, sleeping. I keep the lights low. I keep the music low. I've got the fire crackling. And then I do this goal setting process. So again, I do it inside of Notion, but basically every day I am looking at my overall dreams. So the big dreams that I talk about, for instance, I've talked about on this channel how I want to be tri-continental and have homes in multiple countries. I want to raise my kids with an international focus. I want to do all these big, amazing things. There's like personal goals that I have, spiritual goals, marriage goals, child rearing goals. I kind of review all of that just to level set me into like, okay, just remember everything that you do today is in service ultimately towards these big dreams. So I review those dreams and then I look at like the practical goals that I'm actively working towards right now. So there's revenue goals that I'm working towards in my business. Again, there's professional goals. There's even child rearing goals, education goals that I have for my kids, right? Okay, we taught our son to read. Now we want him to, learn this or learn this in math. So just all kinds of things that I'm like actively working on. Fitness goals, right? Different goals that I have in terms of how often I'm working out or breaking new records on my Peloton, like all that stuff. My current goals, I look at that. And then from there, I look at the projects that are related to those goals. So you can't achieve your goals if you're not breaking it down into projects. And so from there, I'm looking at what projects am I actively working on. A lot of them are business projects, right? Again, I'm in the midst of the project of releasing my coaching certification program. I'm hiring people, social media projects. I have a wardrobe building project, right? So that's like a personal goal. We're transitioning from summer to fall. So I have a project of getting my wardrobe together for fall, which is important because I need clothes to show up here on these videos and do my different events and different things like that. House projects, right? We're working on the upstairs game room because the kids trash it. And so I'm like, okay, we got to make this game room family and kid friendly, but it still needs to be, nice so that when we have company coming over or family staying from out of town, that they can feel comfortable hanging out there and watching the TV up there. So, I just look at all my projects and then that boils down to my task. What am I actually focused on for the day? So I look at my tasks for the day that are connected to the projects, right? So for instance, one task that I need to do after I'm done recording this video is I need to get back to our interior designer. I'm laughing because my husband has like been blowing me up like for days. He's like, can you please respond to the interior designer? Please respond to the interior designer, because she sent fabric swatches of the sofa that's going upstairs in the game room. And she wants to know my feedback before she orders the sofa, right? So that's an example of like a task, right? That I would be focused on. So I'm reviewing the task, but I do it in this order versus just like, oh, what is my to-do list for the day? Because I'm one of those people that needs to know context at all times. And I think it's kind of come as I focus more on being like a CEO in my business. Again, I have podcast series where I talk about this as well, but I just need everything contextualized. So even if it's a personal thing or a business thing, it's not enough to say, hey, reply to the interior designer. I need reply to the interior designer because it's connected to your project of getting the game room together, which is connected to your goal of having X amount of family time every month and teaching your kids XYZ things at home, which is related to your dream of raising well-adjusted, globally minded kids, right? Like, I need to see that full trajectory, because then it's not just reply to the interior designer, it's reply to the interior designer and move your dream of whatever, raising these types of kids further along. See how it all connects? So that's what I focus on first thing in the morning after I do my prayer and reading, right? So I want to get centered with God, and I'm, praying and asking for the day to go amazing and for insight and all of that. And so then I go into these dreams, goals, projects, and then to-dos. And so from there, then I feel really clear on what I need to do. So once I'm clear on what I need to do, I start working on the tasks that require my focus and I can't be bothered, right? So I think a big misconception, especially for me, because I work from home, and this is a big misconception even with my own family members, is that like, I don't know, that it's not that hard to work from home, or it's like super easy and relaxing. And that's not true, right? My kids are home. Now my son is going to kindergarten, so he won't be home for the whole day, right? But he'll be home for even a good portion of the day when he gets home from school. But my daughter, who's young, she's home with our nanny. So the house isn't always quiet, right? They're playing upstairs, it's loud, there's stuff going on. My husband comes home on his lunch break. So we have contractors sometimes who come in, need to do things. We're, decorating. Sometimes there's appointments, interior designer. Oh, I just needed to stop by and measure things. So there's always like people in the house and things going on. And so while that's fine for me to get done, like, answering emails, team meetings, etc., if there's any work that like really requires my focus and I need to just be like locked in and only focused on that thing, I find that it's very difficult for me to do that when everybody's awake and like during business hours, so to speak, or like waking hours, when people are up and stuff is going out and people are knocking on the door and whatever. It's too distracting for me to focus on those hardcore projects. So by this time in the morning, now I'd say maybe it's like 4 a.m., 4:30. Now I use this time to really knock out those like hardcore, I need to be left alone projects, right? And I know exactly what they are because I would have done my to-dos previously. So I usually will do that from 4 to 6 a.m., maybe 4 to 6:30 a.m. And usually like once the sun is coming up, people are still asleep, right? So the house is still quiet, but now I'm in that pre-phase where I'm like, okay, I know the kids are probably gonna be getting up within the next hour or so. I start to kind of wind down those projects so I don't get frustrated when someone interrupts me. And then I just use this time to work out. So by this point, I will go back into the room, I'll change into my fitness clothes, and then I will go into my office and hop on that Peloton. Yes, I'm a Peloton mom. I love doing my Peloton workouts. It's so convenient. I love it for the convenience. I have the bike, I have the rotating screen, and then I have a set of dumbbells. I have anywhere from 3-pound all the way to 25-pound sets of dumbbells. So I love it because it's like my own little personal gym and like a 4x4-foot square area in my office. So sometimes I'm doing like high intensity rides. Other times I'm doing like lower body workouts off the bike just with the weights, or I'm doing, upper body exercises, whatever, but I work out 5 days a week. So usually around this time, I'm doing some sort of workout, some sort of Peloton workout, whether it's on the bike or actually lifting weights. So by now, maybe it's, 6:30, around 7 o'clock, I'm wrapping up. I only work out for 30 minutes at a time. And then it's time to get dressed, right? So I go back into the bedroom to, shower up, get changed, get ready. And by now, my nanny has arrived, the kids are awake, my husband is stirring, he's up, he's getting ready for work. So now, everybody in the house is kind of getting awake, and now it's time to get down to business. So at this point, now it's maybe like 7:30, 8 o'clock. I didn't do this in the summer because my son wasn't in school, but now he's going to kindergarten. So this would be the time where I'm getting him ready to go to school, right? Making breakfast, scarfing down some breakfast myself, getting him ready, getting him loaded up in the car and taking him to kindergarten. I have a daily stand-up meeting at 8:30 a.m. And the reason it's so early is because half of my team is based in South Africa. And so they're like 8 hours ahead of me. And so this is towards the end of their day. So I'm trying to catch them around 4 p.m. before 5 p.m. before they shut it down and go hang out with their families. So we find that this is the best time for us to meet. And we do a daily stand-up with our project manager and scrum master, who make sure all the trains are operating on time, so to speak, and are going over all the projects. So all the business projects that everybody on my team needs to be involved in, we're checking in with each other. Hey, where are you with this? What's going on with this? Did such and such reply to that email? What about this payment? Has this invoice come in? What about this? Can you switch this? Call this. Our attorney, like all the things. I find that if we're not doing those daily meetings, something is going to fall in the cracks because we have so many simultaneous projects happening at the same time. So, when my son is home for the summer, I was able to take these meetings in my office, but because, I am now taking him to school around this time, I usually will take these meetings in the car via Zoom on my phone. So, I'm that mom that's got the Zoom hooked up to the speaker thing on the car. I'm driving, my son's in the back seat, we're doing the pickup line thing, and I'm handling this meeting while I am dropping him off at school. So once my son is dropped off, then I have time to either go back home or sometimes I will go to a co-working space. Again, depending on how much focus work I need to get done. So if I didn't finish all of those like hardcore focus projects where I can't be bothered and I need to be, away, I will actually go work in a co-working space and, knock these projects out. And I love it because I am a member of a co-working community where there's offices all over the city, really offices all over the world. So I kind of pick my fancy based on how I'm feeling. What part of the city do I want to be in? Sometimes I'm planning like my CEO lunch. So if you follow me on Instagram, I talk a lot about CEO lunches where once a week I take myself out for an extravagant CEO lunch. It is extravagant, right? My last CEO lunch, I went out for paella and red wine and dessert. Like I'm the one that orders so much food and they're like, is another person joining you? And I'm like, no, me. I need an appetizer. I need a side salad. I need, my entree. I need dessert and I need a glass of wine. And this is all for me, right? But I do it as a reward. I like to try out different restaurants. I'm a huge foodie, right? I'm like, it's an internal battle, right? That's why I'm on that Peloton very heavily because if I wasn't, my situation, I'd be in trouble, right? So I work out very intensely, but I reward myself and I reward myself with, delectable food once a week in my CEO lunch. And so depending on what day of the week it is and what day that I am having my CEO lunch, I will kind of plan where I want to be in the city based on like which new restaurant I want to try. But I only do my CEO lunch once a week. So oftentimes I'm just picking a co-working space that's close to the house if I'm not going to be eating at a fancy lunch and I'm just getting that work done. If I don't need to be away from the house to get work done, then I just go back home and I will get my work done in my home office. And it's okay if, my daughter is kind of screaming upstairs or whatever, because I'm working on things that don't require my undivided attention. But I find that either way around this time, because now my team is online, they have questions. We just had our daily stand-up. They want feedback on things or, hey, okay, in daily stand-up, we talked about this. Can you hop on a quick meeting for blah, blah, blah. I find that this time anyway, I don't even have time to work on like those specific projects because now I'm like putting out fires, hopping on one-on-one meetings, making decisions, like, I'm doing like be the boss work. So it's like management stuff. I don't really have a lot of time to like do the work. I have to answer questions of the people who are doing the work. I have to hop on meetings. I have to kind of like review stuff. So my time kind of gets eaten up with that, Slack requests come in or whatever. So that's what I'm doing for the bulk of the day. Again, unless I need to get away and actually do some work. So I will do that at a co-working space. Or if I need to record videos like this, I will block out the whole day and I will come here to my, Airbnb if it's available and, shoot all my videos. So this time of the day is kind of like a grab bag. Sometimes I'm even having meetings in the city with potential clients or even just business friends or people who are coming in town and they're like, hey, you want to catch up? So it kind of can be whatever. Sometimes I get invited to events and I'm attending. So, the bulk of my day is kind of, it is what it is. So I'm working, I'll grab lunch or I'll make a quick lunch at home if I am at home. And then I feel like Cinderella and, her carriage is getting ready to turn into a pumpkin because towards, the afternoon, I'm like, oh, it's time to, head back to my son's school and go get him and get in that pickup line. And, so all my days, whether it's meetings or events in the city or whatever, I am tethered to like, oh, at this time, I got to wrap up and get back to my side of town so that I can pick up my son from school. So that's what I do. I then go pick up my son from school. I love to hear all about his day in the backseat. He's super chatty, telling me everything that's going on. And so I bring him home. And then my nanny deals with the kids for maybe a few more hours, like 2 hours or so I can just like knock out any final to-dos that didn't get done. So by this time, so now we're saying like 3, 4, like leading up to dinner, like 5 p.m., I am tick and tying any loose ends. Also, I've reserved this time. If for some reason I was not able to get a workout out in the morning, I will usually work out in this time after I have picked my son up from school. So this is kind of my like last call time, right? If there's anything that I didn't get done during the day that I want to make sure is wrapped up today, I am finishing that at this time. And then around 5, it's dinner time, right? So the kids come downstairs. Again, we're having more discussions. How was your day? Playing with my daughter, playing with my son. The nanny is upstairs, getting their room together. My husband is coming home from work. We are heating up the meals that our meal prep chef makes. I mentioned that I have a meal prep chef that comes once a week and saves me so much time because she just, will order all the groceries. We'll use what we have in the pantry and she'll make an entire week's worth of meals. And so this is amazing. I don't have to focus on what are they going to eat for dinner? I don't ever have to worry about that except for on Fridays because we'll do pizza night or something. But other than that, we have these meals. And so, we're heating those up. And then we're eating and kind of sitting down as a family and just enjoying ourselves. And so after dinner, then I take the kids for the usual bedtime, bath, stories, last minute playing around in the game room, etc., hanging out with my husband, all of that, putting the kids down. The kids are in bed. And usually now it's about time for me to go to bed. So now we're talking 8:30. I've been up since 2:45, 3 a.m. We're shutting it down, right? So I try to spend maybe 30 minutes with my husband, but he knows this routine. Also, he, will have work that he still needs to finish up from work that he will bring home. So he's a night owl. I'm a morning person. And so usually this is his time to kind of knock out any remaining things that he didn't get done. So, we kind of chat and connect and then I leave him to it. And then, best case scenario, I'm in bed between 8:30 and 9 at the absolute latest. And yeah, I'm asleep and then I get up and then I do it all over again. So that's what my day looks like. If you're oh my goodness, getting up so early, I do this only about 3 or 4 times a week, right? So I usually will get up that early Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then I will sleep in Thursday night to Friday morning because usually my husband and I will have date night on Friday or there's something going on and I don't want to be super tired at 8 p.m. ready for bed. So I will sleep then till 5:30 or 6 and then get up at a normal hour. And then the weekends, I'm not getting up that early. I'm just, enjoying myself, enjoying family, having regular hours. And then I try to get to bed early on Sunday so that I can repeat that early wake up and then repeat this process all over again. So that's what my day looks like. As a full-time entrepreneur, I would say that's my typical standard day. I do have some fun, glamorous moments where I get to go to events or travel or whatever. But if you're wondering what I'm doing most of the time in the day, this is it. So hopefully this answers your questions. I would love to know what your day looks like. And if you're you know what? That sounds like an amazing day and I would love to be a full-time online coach as well. I invite you to join my CLS Coaching Certification Program. We will not only teach you how to coach and certify you, we will help you build an amazing coaching brand and sell your coaching packages so that you can become the next big name in your industry. So if you want to learn more about that, you can click the links below or wherever they are in order to learn more and to get on a call with my enrollment coordinators who will walk you through the entire process. But with that, don't forget to subscribe here on YouTube. Don't forget to also subscribe to my podcast on iTunes and Spotify. Make sure you're following me on both Instagram and TikTok. My username is CourtneyLSanders on both platforms. And with that, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.